and as she was eating the sundae, she put her spoon in it and a big chunk of glass came out. You know, he took the ice cream away and he came back and he apologized and said, well, at the restaurant it's not liable for the glass, so there's nothing we can do about it. Why hello and welcome, my name is Kendra and ich bin deine Lieblingsausländlerin, coming back to you with another video. At the risk of being stared at even more than usual and at the risk of having sunlight directly in my eyeballs, I decided to film outside today because we're getting some really beautiful weather here in Germany and I'm not sure how long it's gonna last. I was like, let me go outside and get a little bit of fresh air and film a video while I'm doing it. So today we are comparing the two places that I have called home for the longest time in Germany, Berlin and Bayern. So I lived in Berlin for a year and I've almost made it to 6 months here in Bayern. I feel like I have enough evidence to compare the two. Now, disclaimer, I do not live in Munich. I don't live in a major city in Bavaria. I haven't been to every part of Bavaria, so I can't compare Bavaria in every single facet in every single city, but I'm just gonna go based off of the parts of Bavaria that I've been to, the parts of Bavaria that I am more familiar with, and gonna compare from there. And I'm sure when I get something wrong, you guys will let me know in the comments down below. So let's get into the competition, Berlin or Bavaria. Comment down below which one you think is better. So before we get started, make sure you hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button for more great content. My first point is going to be that it's harder for me to understand Berlinerisch. And a second disclaimer, where I live, they don't really speak like proper Bayerisch, but they do have a distinct accent. But that accent I just find is really light and cute, and it's just slightly different than what I'm used to hearing. It's nothing like Hochdeutsch, of course, which you learn in school, but it's still like a little bit different, but easy to understand. Berlinerisch? I have no idea. I have no idea what's being said when a Berliner speaks to me, and that was really hard for me to adjust to when I moved to Berlin because they just speak so quickly and all the words kind of sound like one, and I was like, we didn't get to this chapter in school yet, like I don't know what's going on. And then the slang is so different. It was so bad that I was talking to somebody once and we were texting, and then when we met in person they were like, do you even speak German? And I was like, yeah, I speak German, I don't speak Berliner. Eventually I got used to the pace and I even started to understand like little bits of it, and I learned some of the slang, but for the most part Berliners speak way too quickly for me, and it's pretty hard to catch up if you're not used to hearing German like that. See, what did I tell you? I've been filming for 3 minutes 54 seconds and somebody is staring at me like hard. So my next point, Bavaria is getting another one. Alright, I'm sorry Berlin, but Bavarians are nicer. Bavarians are way nicer. So here in Bavaria, in the various parts of Bavaria that I've been to, excluding Munich, a lot of people smile at, like strangers smile at me and say hello to me. Just really cute and really sweet. And that is the complete polar opposite of how people are in Berlin. Strangers do not smile at you, especially if they're sober, and they usually don't speak to you. That is more the pace that I'm used to. It must be a southern thing to just be nicer, because in New York, we're kind of more like Berliners. We don't talk to strangers. We don't smile at people. Like, we find that very strange. So whenever I go down south, it's always really weird for me when people are like, good morning. I'm just like, do I know you? It's kind of the same in Bavaria. Strangers say good morning and smile, and it's actually a nice breath of fresh air, especially during this time. But yes, I gotta say, Bavarians are a lot nicer. I used to think that I preferred like the anonymity in Berlin when nobody really pays attention to you, but these days I really like being around people who are a lot nicer and more friendly. I gotta give a point to Berlin for this next one because Berliners have the fashion game on lock. Now, Berlin is notorious for being home to many a hipster, but I find that you find all kinds of different styles in Berlin. I was in Charlottenburg, which is a little bit hoity-toity, just a little schicky-micky, and they dressed a little bit more fancy over there. Nothing really too showy, but they dress very nicely. And then when you go over to like Kreuzberg and the more hipster parts of Berlin, they dressed in a lot of black. Some people dressed in a lot of colors and mixed the different prints, and they always found a way to make it look really cool. And at that point when I lived in Berlin, I didn't really have my own fashion sense. Like I was kind of experimenting and trying different things, and I picked up a lot of my fashion sense while I was living there. The things they wear seem really courageous and out there, and yeah, I just love that innovation. So 1 point for Berlin. Okay, so Bavarians are more friendly, but they also stare a lot. See, what did I tell you? I've been filming for 3 minutes 54 seconds and somebody is staring at me. Bavarians like to make eye contact, and a lot of people have explained the eye contact thing to me, and you know, I get it, I get the logic behind it, but to me it's just creepy. And it's very common here. Sometimes people will stare at you for a while and they'll smile, and sometimes they won't smile. Like as a New Yorker, you just get really uncomfortable when someone stares at you because, I don't know, personally I just feel like they're trying to size me up. So I don't know, I don't think I'll ever fully get used to the staring thing. I don't like to have stare downs with people, so, and I know that when somebody's walking toward me, they're probably staring, so I just look the other way, or I just look straight ahead, and it just makes me feel like awkward that I can't look at people because I'm not trying to get into a staring contest on Tuesday, sir. Please. In Berlin, I pretty much felt invisible. I never really got stared at unless I was like out or something like that, and I looked really good, but here it's a Wednesday afternoon. That's all people need to stare. I had to change locations because the lighting's a little bit better over here. So I gotta give a point to Bayern for customer service, because of all the restaurants that I've been to, I've always had pretty good customer service in Bayern compared to Berlin, where the customer service can be horrific. And it's not all restaurants in Berlin. Like the smaller, like mom and pop restaurants are really nice, or the smaller shops, you have pretty good customer service. But I've had some really weird experiences with customer service in Berlin. For example, I went out to get some dessert with some classmates because we wanted to celebrate the end of our German classes, and we went out with like a group of 6 of us and our teacher. And one of my classmates ordered a sundae, and as she was eating the sundae, she put her spoon in it and a big chunk of glass came out. So of course we called the waiter over and we explained to him what happened, and he was just like, oh, I'm sorry about that. Like, you know, he took the ice cream away, and he came back and he apologized and said, well, the restaurant is not liable for the glass, so there's nothing we can do about it. As if the girl bought the glass and put it in the ice cream herself. Like, couldn't give her a refund, couldn't give her a new ice cream. It was horrible. All he did was take the glass out of the old ice cream. And that's an extreme example, but yeah, I've had some very weird experiences with waiters, and you know, I find them just super rude in Berlin. Like I said, New York service is not the best, but at least the waiters have to be somewhat decent because, you know, they're still working for the tip because they're underpaid. But yeah, sorry, Bayern won that one. The last point is that Bayern is prettier. Now, of course, Bayern is a whole big state, and Berlin is a state, but it's also a city. But yeah, I gotta say Bayern is definitely prettier, and Berlin has a really bad reputation for being ugly, and I won't say that Berlin is ugly. I love cities that are just a little bit dirty. Like, I'm nowhere near posh. I feel most at home in cities that are a little rough around the edges, that have a little bit of, you know, griminess to them. But I gotta say, when it comes to parks and nature and, you know, all the mountain ranges out here in Bavaria, Bavaria has definitely won that one. And yeah, you know, Berlin, of course, since it's a lot smaller and it's in the north, there's not as, so yeah, if you want a state that's more, so if you want a place that's more scenic, definitely Bavaria. A lot of people come down here to go hiking and just to enjoy being in nature, and I gotta say that I enjoy hiking a lot more now that I live in Bavaria, especially since there's not much else to do. So Bavaria definitely won that one. So yes, that is my little Bavaria versus Berlin comparison. I'm interested in doing this video again after I've lived in Bavaria for a year, because like I said, it's only been 6 months here versus a year in Berlin. And also after lockdown is over, hopefully I can go see more parts of Bavaria and have more points of comparison to make. Let me know if you guys think this is a fair comparison of Bayern and Bavaria, and also let me know if you guys have any suggestions of places in Bavaria that I should visit outside of the major cities, because I'm trying to see some more of the smaller cities too. I've already been to Munich. Eventually I'm gonna go to Nuremberg. But what are some smaller cities in Bavaria that I should check out? So when I make my updated video, I have more of a basis of comparison. Like, where's real Bavaria? Like, I need the real Bavarians to come to the comment section and tell me and help me out. But until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Auf Wiedersehen.